Hi, I'm Yvette Jones, and this is Talk Fulton. On today's show, we'll tell you how the rules on handling mugshots have changed for law enforcement agencies and governments, including the Fulton County Sheriff's Office. We'll explain why you should care. And later, communities all across the county spend a night out to fight against crime and drugs. All this and more on Talk Fulton, starting now. We're talking today about the state legislation that has forced the Fulton County Sheriff's Office and every other law enforcement agency in the state to change how it does business when it comes to mugshots. During the 2014 General Assembly, lawmakers at the Capitol passed a bill that bans websites from charging money to get mugshots removed. Jolene Butts-Freeman has our story.
When lawmakers under the Gold Dome decided to tackle the issue over mugshots, some admitted they had no idea that thousands of people were being extorted online over the photographs. The issue? People who had been arrested and booked in various jail facilities but were later found innocent or had the charges dropped were still appearing on the more than 100 websites statewide. And in many cases, the only way to get the mugshots off the websites was to pay. And in some cases, pay big, like $500 per site. Now that's when State Representative Roger Bruce decided to introduce the legislation that bans the practice of making people pay to get their image offline. His colleagues supported him and made it a law.
Tracy Flanagan is the Senior Public Affairs Officer for the Fulton County Sheriff's Office. This issue now impacts how their office does business. Tracy, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Yvette, for having me.
So Georgia Representative Roger Bruce sponsored this legislation. Give viewers a little bit a better understanding of how this whole issue began.
This all started with persons with booking records discovered that their photos were online on private websites. They would Google themselves and their mugshot would pop up. These mugshots were being extracted from the Fulton County Sheriff's Office website and other sheriff's offices that published these photos online.
So now the legislation is impacting your office. Explain to me how.
Well, now we are no longer allowed to put the mugshots online. We still have booking information, so names and charges can be found online, but the photos are not. What we're doing now is requiring, per the law, anyone requesting a mugshot must sign an affirmation that they will not put the mugshots on a pay site. Once they do that, we can share the mugshots with them, and those affirmations are good for a year.
Now, I understand, Tracy, your office is receiving lots of calls about this, I understand.
Yes, there's still people that need a better understanding of the law, and there are persons that maybe still grandfathered in with their photos still out there. There was a lady in her 70s that called me. She was concerned that her mugshot was online and that her grandchildren would be able to find it. Well, I entered her name, I Googled it, and her mugshot did pop up. So this will be a process as we try to work through some of these kinks, but we're hoping for a good outcome, of course.
And so not just the public asking you questions, how does this impact news agencies who I'm sure contact you on a frequent basis?
Yes, news agencies publish mugshots on a daily basis. They're working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. What they're having to do is sign an affirmation for each member of the newsroom who may request a mugshot. They have to promise that they will abide by the law and that the mugshots will not end up on a website that requires that individuals must pay a fee for their removal. And then at that time, they can put mugshots on their website, their Facebook page, as long as that promise is made.
Now, how had other private websites been using these mugshots?
Other private websites have been creating a business. Their websites generate a lot of viewers because people are interested in mugshots. So they're advertising dollars there. Then when you factor in that people with expunged records or those with records that have been dropped, those persons will be required to pay a fee to get their photo removed. And then there might be another fee, and then there might be another fee, and it goes on and on. And so this form of extortion is what concerned lawmakers.
And certainly there are a lot of considerations here. Now, what about victims of crime who want to get information about suspects in their cases?
Victims of crime can still visit our website, which is fultonsheriff.net. On that website, you can search for inmate information. It will tell you when a person was booked, what their charges are, and when they were released. We also have an app called Mobile Patrol. It is on the Android network and it is on the iOS system. What it does is allows people to sign up for alerts to learn about inmates, their releases, and their charges. You can also do so by telephone.
Okay, a lot of progress going forward. Anything else you'd like to add on this issue?
Well, it's important to note that these booking photos become a permanent record. We talked about permanent records when we were in school. The same thing applies here. So the best advice is to please be thoughtful and try not to get in trouble, because these mugshots can get out there and they may circulate for years. So it's just hopeful that people can be more considerate.
Tracy Flanagan, thank you so much. A wealth of information there. We appreciate you joining us from the Fulton County Sheriff's Office. Now again, you can still get information on the Sheriff's Office website, but photos are no longer on the site. When we return, find out why communities all across the county decided to spend a night out together. Talk Fulton will be right back. Welcome back. Every year, all across the country, law enforcement agencies band together for what they call America's Night Out Against Crime. This year is no different. Fulton County Police led the campaign for National Night Out 2014. We get the story now from Felicia Church.
For the last few years, along Old National Highway in South Fulton, police have brought the people and public safety together for its National Night Out.
And on behalf of the few, the proud, the Marshals Department, I want to say greetings.
As in years past, safety, crime prevention, and community partnership were the focus of the event. From the public safety equipment and health information displays to the games for the children and entertainment from the Westlake High School Band. Everyone had a good time.
That was the very first time that I've been out for a night out, and it was wonderful. A lot of entertainment, a lot of the community coming out and officials and everything of that nature. So it was a beautiful night.
Public safety officials and commissioners made a surprise presentation to their colleague, Commissioner William Bill Edwards, for his hard work and dedication to the county and South Fulton in particular.
And does hereby proclaim today, Tuesday, August the 5th, 2014, as Commissioner William Bill Edwards Appreciation Day in Fulton County, Georgia. Let's give this man a round of applause.
Similar events were held across the county. Residents in the Legacy and Shamrock apartment complex in southwest Atlanta also came together in a show of unity. And like in South Fulton, this National Night Out wasn't all about safety either. There was music, dancing, face painting, and horse riding for the kids, all designed with a single purpose in mind.
Community can't do this alone. Public safety and crime prevention. Policing and public safety leadership and officials, they can't do it alone. It will take a partnership, and right now we need everything we can to strengthen that partnership, and part of that is trust.
National Night Out was created 31 years ago to help neighbors get involved in making their communities safer. Many residents who attended this year's event say that's exactly what they plan to do. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Felicia Church.
Corporal Kay Lester is with the Fulton County Police Department. Thank you so much, Corporal Lester, for joining us on Talk Fulton.
Thank you for having me.
Now, this year's event was as successful as it always is. Can you explain in a little more detail what this national campaign is all about?
Sure. The National Night Out campaign is a national campaign to help build safer communities. It has been around for the last 30 years. The police department has participated for the last 4 years. The goal is to promote community involvement in crime prevention awareness, public partnerships with the police department, as well as neighborhood camaraderie.
So now the focus is crime and drug prevention awareness. Do you all determine where to have the event based on those two factors primarily?
True, the focus is on drug and crime prevention awareness. However, those two factors do not determine where we're going to have the event. The event is basically, location is determined by is the location accessible to the community? What are the transportation needs that are going to be required to get the community to the location? How large the location is? Can it effectively house the resources that are going to be made available to the public as well as the community?
So a lot of things that go into consideration. Now, we saw that you had a great deal of support from other county law enforcement agencies and departments. How crucial are those partnerships for this type of campaign?
Yes, we did have a great deal of support from our sister agencies, the Sheriff's Department, the Marshal's Department. That support from those agencies is very crucial in this type of campaign as well as in our day-to-day activities. We respond to 911 calls together. We solve crimes together, so it is just as imperative to include them when we partner with the community. This way we can reach more of the community.
And speaking of community, the idea for National Night Out has always been to engage the community we serve. Talk about the community's involvement and why it's key and critical to the department's success.
True, the National Night Out is about building safer communities. The police department cannot do this alone, so the assistance of the community is greatly needed. We hope that the communities will learn crime prevention measures that they can apply in their own homes, create neighborhood watch programs so that their neighborhoods are safer, as well as build those partnerships with the police. We hope that they learn how to report crime as well as detect that crime and then report that crime to the police department. This type of involvement and partnership is critical to the police department's success in fighting crime.
Now, we mentioned earlier that you had support from the county departments, but I understand you also had support from several area companies and businesses. Talk about that.
Yes, we did have several area companies and several businesses that came out to support the National Night Out, and we're grateful for that support. Those businesses are a part of that community, or those communities that participated, and they wanted to show that they are there and that they want to give back to those communities. It is also good that they were there. It shows that it's not a one-sided relationship. It shows that they are in this with us and we're all in this together, and it increased our partnership.
Of course, that public-private connection is so important. Well, again, it was another successful event. You have any final thoughts on it?
Yes, indeed, it was another successful event. We do realize that one night is not going to prevent crime or be the answer to crime, but we hope that the spirit of that one night, the spirit of people learning about the crime prevention measures that they can apply in their homes, working with the neighborhood watch, setting up the programs, setting up police and community partnerships. We hope that that spirit can carry out through the year and they can build safer communities year-round.
Well, congratulations once again, and thank you so much for joining us here, Corporal Kay Lester with the Fulton County Police Department. And finally, on Talk Fulton, a reminder about the state's gun carry law and Fulton County's policy on bringing weapons into their government facilities. Though the state law permits people with licensed firearms to carry in public places, there are some restrictions, and certain government facilities are among them. The Sheriff's Office oversees the Fulton County Courthouse, and deputies are reminding visitors that weapons are not allowed into the building. Failure to adhere to the policy could result in a fine and possibly jail time. Well, special thanks to both Senior Public Affairs Officer Tracy Flanagan and Corporal Kay Lester from the Fulton County Police Department. And a special thanks to you, of course, for watching. That's all of our time. We invite you to email us to let us know what topics you'd like to see addressed on Talk Fulton. Email us at fgtv.feedback@fultoncountyga.gov. I'm Yvette Jones. We'll see you next time.